Let's listen.
Welcome back to Man on the Street. We are back on dry land and we're talking to the people. Everyone who knows me knows I'm out listening to music all the time, just like most of you. We're talking with each other, socializing, talking with the band, talking with the fans, and having a good time. We are listening to the music, but once in a while, something pulls me in. I'll hear something and I'll say, wow, that's special. Which is interesting around Detroit because we have so many good musicians, especially on the east side. It's like going to a karaoke night where everybody can sing like a rock star. But in the last couple of years, I've been pulled in twice by my guest today. He's an amazing lead guitar player. He started playing guitar at 6 years old. He was playing in the bars by 14. He's played with Eddie Money. He's played with Alice Cooper. He's played on the Strip in Nashville, and he's here today with me. It's Mr. Garret Bielaniec. Garret, great to have you on Man on the Street. How you doing?
I'm doing really good, man. It's good to be here with you, Jamie, on Man on the Street. And, this is B's interview was so good. I hope mine's as good as B's.
Garret, I want to talk to you about two guys that grew up here in Metro Detroit, two artists that have been very successful. John Five, who played with Marilyn Manson, as well as Rob Zombie. Now he's playing with Motley Crue. And Jason Hartless, the drummer for Ted Nugent. I know both of those guys started playing their instruments very young like you, and they both played in bars at very young ages. Tell me, who or what inspires a 6-year-old to pick up a guitar, and how do all you guys get into these bars underage with adults playing at night?
Well, what motivated me was sheer boredom because I grew up in Howell, Michigan. There was nothing else to do. My mom had an old 6-string harmony under the bed, and about 5 years old, I pulled it out and started playing on it and listening to WLLZ. And, as far as playing bars when you're 14, Speedy Printing Press was around back then. You get a fake ID for about $1.50.
You've played with some big artists. I mean, you've played with Alice Cooper and Eddie Money. And I know you played with Alice Cooper on the Detroit Stories album. Talk about the experience playing on that album, and also talk about playing with Eddie Money. He is so loved here in Detroit. Rest in peace. He opened up the first show every summer at Pine Knob Outdoor Music Theater. So tell us about both of those artists and playing with them.
Oh, yeah, man, playing with Alice. Well, actually, I did Breadcrumbs first, which is a 5 or 6 song EP. And I did Detroit Stories after that. And working with Alice was unbelievable because we're all in the studio playing together. He's sitting on the couch writing stuff. And, I had the greatest rhythm section with Johnny B and Paul Randolph, the best at their craft in Detroit. And so it was very easy to do. And, Eddie Money thing was it was a very brief thing, but he came and saw this band I was playing in at the Hard Rock, and he said, if I open up DTE, or Pine Knob, I shouldn't say DTE anymore, Pine Knob, you come out and jam with us. So went out there and I jammed with him and, rehearsed. He blew saxophone in my ear. I'm still deaf. Smoked a little weed on the bus. I mean, rest in peace, Eddie. I love you, man.
Garret, you've also worked with some legendary producers, Bob Ezrin and Jack Douglas. Tell us about those experiences.
Well, being a lead guitar player, wanting to be a lead guitar player your whole life, I mean, Jack Douglas, Bob Ezrin, they worked at the best. They created the best rock and roll albums, I think, for guitar solos. You got Jack doing the Aerosmith records and Bob Ezrin doing, the Pink Floyd The Wall, which I grew up playing, all those Gilmore licks. But they're very different producers, They're both great at what they do. And, working with Bob was just insane because, he's just staring at you behind the glass and you're trying not to mess up, and he'd smile and you knew you had it. And, working with Jack was awesome too because Jack was very hands-on. You'd be playing the guitar and he'd be moving the knobs on the guitar while you're playing, or moving the knobs on the pedals, and very, kind of hands-on. And both of those guys are, the best rock and roll producers. And I can't believe that I've played for Jack Douglas and Bob Ezrin. And that's what keeps me playing the bowling alleys.
I know you've played with two great guys here in Metro Detroit, great musicians. Tino G and his dumpster machine. Tino's been on the show. And Jody Raffoul. Great artist, amazing player, and of course all the women love him. And I just want to know, will you be continuing to play with both of those artists? And who else are you playing with? And also, I know you have a popular cover band. What is going on with the cover band? Are they active? And when will they be playing so people can come out and see them?
Yes, Tino G and the fabulous lady killer Jody Raffoul himself. Yes, I played with both. I still play with both those cats. I play with Tino and the Dumpster Machine whenever I can make a gig, and we're rocking it pretty hard. And with Jody, I've been playing with Jody for, man, like 12, 13 years, and he's got still the best deep cut set list at a bar you can go see. And, you know, just the top vocal around town, man. The guy's just insane. And I got both of his kids' record deals, and then they never called me again. But, yeah, I love the Raffouls. I'm in a new cover band right now called the Local Heroes, and we play every bar that anybody would feel like dancing at, and we cover all kinds of stuff. It started out kind of as like a money gig, but we're all a bunch of friends in there having a great time playing danceable covers and kind of, you know, having fun with it. I get to play a lot of leads, so it's a good time.
You have original music. Please tell us about original music. That's so important to me. And also, you are the owner of a guitar repair shop. Let's plug both of those, your original music and your guitar repair shop.
The original music I love to do. If I can get the time to do it, I do have an EP out on Spotify and all that stuff. My studio's Cheap Sounds, and my repair shop, one and the same as Cheap Sounds. I started the repair shop during COVID. I've always been working on guitars for other people, and it was just kind of something I could do to supplement the gigs. And now I just do that kind of as like a side hustle, and you just rebuild stuff. And I also make my own guitars because I played Les Paul for 20 years and my back went out. So now the only way to get good light guitars is to make them yourself. So I build ridiculous guitars. They make people mad. You put the Fender headstock on the Gibson body and it just enrages people, and I love that. So yeah, Cheap Sounds Studio, Cheap Sounds Repair Shop, they're both mine, and it's just a blast.
I want to thank Garret Bielaniec for joining me today on Man on the Street. And people, get out there and see what he's up to. This guy's an amazing player. Check him out this summer. See what he's doing. Get out to his repair shop if you need repairs. But he's on Facebook. He's on Instagram. I'm going to be out there checking him out this summer, and I hope to see you guys too. And we will see you next time on Man on the Street, because everybody has something to say. So let's listen. Take care, everyone.